Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons The Second Age. How are you all doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, without further ado, who can remind me of exactly what happened the last time we played?
Where did we start again? We started just after the accidental killing of Mindflayer. Or did we start? Was that the start of that season?
Yeah, we started
Yes.
after we'd killed the
Yeah.
Mind Flayer and everybody
So yeah,
just
things had gone.
recovered.
Yeah, things had gone a bit wrong. We'd accidentally murdered the Mind Flayer when we wanted to get it to run away and chase it to its home. So we came up with a new brilliant plan, which was do the same thing again. We tracked another Mind Flayer. We found it in a load of buddies, a lot of enslaved Eladrin who wanted to try and be like, oh no, yeah, we're friends, this is fine. If we don't do this ritual thing, then lots of people are going to die. And we were like, So yeah, it ended up in a fight eventually. We dispatched a lot of them quite quickly, and we remembered not to... Well, we didn't get into a situation in which the Mind Flayer had to be murdered. And there was and we tracked the Mind Flayer very, very successfully through a combination of Arya's new ability to be able to sense the whereabouts of invisible creatures, and the fact that Elizabeth can just cast a spell to see invisible creatures and roll the nat 20 on a deception check to pretend that she'd lost it, which was fun. So yeah, we chased it down, but we did eventually lose it in this weird place. And we were like...
More specifically,
okay,
you didn't lose it, it became hidden from you.
Yeah, something did a thing that made it so that we couldn't track it anymore. We were like, that's suspicious. But we still knew the rough... But yeah, so we knew that the next place it was in a certain direction, but also below us, which was like, oh. Unfortunately, this is where things started to go downhill, because we encountered a room full of like a lava river, and it was full of fiery elementals.
Correct.
Who were not very happy that we were encroaching on their turf. And we came up and we tried to simply skip past them and just run. But the encounter didn't go great.
Yeah, because Elizabeth kind of ignored the plan.
Okay, let's not be throwing blame around already. Like, come on.
I mean, this is just kind of a fact.
That's exactly what happened.
It's not exclusively my fault, though. I'm not the only one who didn't run through the door. Anyway,
Continuing onwards.
The encounter went a little bit south, but we all came out of it. Alive. And yeah, we were just about to settle in for a longer rest before pursuing after the Mind Flayer again, because we found a trapdoor, which is probably a good. It's probably a
Well, you had a more important encounter before that happened.
Oh no, yeah, of course, because when we ran into this room that you see us in now, and there was a lot of Githzerai, Kaziara's old team, who'd been enslaved by the weird, evil devourers, weird little brains with legs.
Yes.
Which is the other reason why the encounter went southwards, because we got trapped between those two things. But yeah. We got through the encounter unscathed. The elementals are still there, but we'll be able to deal with them a little bit easier next time. And then we found this trapdoor off in the corner, which had a lot of boxes hastily removed from it. So we're like, that's probably where the Mind Flayer went. But we're in no fit state to go chasing after it, so we're gonna have a rest.
Yeah.
And that's where we left off.
Yes, so winding back a little bit briefly, because I think previously I described you all bedding down in the dome to go to sleep. But actually there's something that takes priority first that needs to happen. As Arya, since you were brought back by, I think, Kelariis' healing magic. You have you spent time sitting down with Kaziara and Grim and Kelariis, performing this ritual to reattune yourselves to the Rakma pact that is helping you provide protection against the Illithid. And there's been something just sort of gnawing at the back of your mind that's made you a little unsettled whilst this all has been happening. And it's not until... this music is a bit dramatic for the thing that's happening. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So yeah, it's not until Elizabeth takes time away to begin casting Leomund's tiny hut that you there's a moment of silence, the first proper moment of silence that you've had since the combat concluded. And you find yourself sitting just in front of the statue, watching Elizabeth work, watching the rest of them sort of stripping down from their armor, cleaning their weapons. You and Kaziara don't need to take off armor and clean weapons because you don't wear heavy armor. But you find yourself there's a brief moment where you're just sort of watching Kaziara as she's sort of sitting there like in a half meditative state, like cross-legged. And there's a brief moment where a thought crosses your mind that is not your own.
Okay.
And in that moment, you're slightly perturbed by this sensation, and Kaziara looks up and looks directly at you with a worried look on her face.
Me too, bro, me too. What's the thought?
So the thought that crosses your mind that is not yours is just one, like a briefest passing moment of reflection on a past event. It goes by too fast for you to really understand what it was, but you know that it wasn't yours.
Okay.
Not
great.
And as Kaziara looks at you, there another thought that crosses your mind, you feel as well, that is not yours, and it's, did she just feel the same?
Okay, well that's disturbing.
Are you reacting to this in any way?
I guess I look at Kaziara and I ask her, did you just feel something strange?
She stands up, and the yellowish tinge to her skin sort of fades a little, and she looks not quite pale, but pale-ish. And she quickly sort of strides over to you, sits down next to you and just sort of says, "You experienced that as well?"
I did, and I'm not quite sure what it was.
She pauses, and now that she's sat next to you, you can feel the panic racing through her, even though there's no visual indicator of it on the outside. And the more you begin to feel this, you can feel that there are other consciousnesses attached to yours. you can, like, on the periphery of your mind, you can hear other voices in different places thinking other thoughts. And from the rising panic in Kazyara, she is experiencing the same.
Okay! Great. What's going on? Is this... Are we being infiltrated? Like our minds?
She, like, slowly just sort of nods and says, I have never experienced this before, but if I had to hazard a guess, I think the moment we were incapacitated, perhaps the Elder or some other entity has taken advantage of our vulnerability.
Great. Cool.
Judging by the way I can feel what you're feeling and understand what you're experiencing, I think this is more than just a one-way connection.
Okay. Well, what do we need to do? Is there some way to fight this?
She, like, just sort of, like, pulls slightly at her hair and says, we need to inform the others. They cannot make any plans or anything whilst we are present. If we are feeding back, even the slightest details could strengthen them. As for fighting this, I don't know. We were always taught that this was a possibility, but never a way to resist it.
Okay, well, let's tell the others and figure out if there's something we can do.
She nods, and you sense a great deal of nervousness from her.
Yeah, well, that's a mood.
Okay, so Grim and Kelariis are finished doffing their heavy armor. Elizabeth is completing the ritual.
Which technically we all need to be inside when it's cast anyway.
No, only you need to be inside.
No, it does actually say any creatures within can pass through without problem, and any without can't.
Okay, anyway. Thematic license.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You approach them as they are finishing.
Well, guys, I have some bad news.
More?
That's not a very good way to start that.
Well, it's not very good news, so. Kazyara believes that she and I may be compromised. The moments when we were unconscious has allowed them to get into our heads.
What does that mean?
Well, I can feel the thoughts of her and potentially other beings currently. None of you guys, because you're all still protected, but she worries that they might be using us to spy on our plans.
Kazyara nods and chimes in and says, whatever you say from this point onwards, you should consider us as observers for the enemy.
That's fine.
Well,
We've been in this situation before. Surprisingly. Well, maybe not exactly this, but similar enough.
wonder if...
Is there nothing that we can do to break that connection?
Kaziora shrugs and just says, "We were taught that it was a possibility, not any way to resist it or deal with it."
Well, Kaziora, you've got the most experience with illithids and their psionic abilities and connections, and are probably the best candidate to tell me if something would help. I don't know what. So can I try something?
She
Just
she looks like anxious and slightly cautious and sort of says,
As a spell I know that can...
don't say the full thing out loud. But like, here's the thing: is okay. So are you going to agree to it?
"I am concerned that doing this is attempting to find a way around it is going to feed them exactly the sort of information that they want to know."
Well, here's the thing: if we give you a blindfold, and Arya, whilst she does her thing, you won't know what she did. If it works, that's good. If it doesn't work, you won't know what happened. If we don't explain it to you.
That seems like a sound strategy.
I guess I will like. I guess there are should we even say that?
I think just as little information as possible.
Yeah. I'll just try and ask. I'll ask some questions before we go through. If you guys are alright with it. Because I think there is a one safe conclusion, and this procedure will be non-harmful to you at least. Right?
Yeah.
Aya and I can step away if you want to have a conversation in quiet, in isolation.
Well, I guess like just saying the plan out loud might not hurt, just in case. So you will give us a second.
Yeah, Kaziara like walks away and like goes to the opposite corner.
Yeah, I'll go with her.
Okay.
So, the spell magic, remove curse. What's the plan?
Something a bit more powerful?
What are you thinking?
Unfortunately, I can't do it on both of them tonight, but I don't know. Psionics, given that I can't counterspell their
What-
magic, I'd have no reason to assume that dispel magic would be any
Just-
different, and I don't know if it's
Just
doing
tell us what are you planning?
mind blank.
Hmm.
Any kind that's the spell that would literally it's the most powerful spell I know that nullifies any kind of divination or mind or thought detecting magics.
Does that have an amount of time that it lasts, or does it just?
It lasts a full day, a whole 24 hours.
Well, I guess if you're gonna rest now, so you'll have it back.
Yeah.
Or you'll have your power back.
The only downside is I can only cast it on one of them tonight.
Well, how about we see if it works? If it works, we have a way of checking it, maybe.
Okay, I guess
And then after that, we'll concern ourselves with how we continue from there.
Okay. Also, maybe we should. Okay, so I feel like Kaziara is probably the best person to cast it on because she'll probably be the best. She'll be most likely to know whether or not it actually worked. But I feel like if we're going to do that, we should keep. Well, we should cast it on Kaziara while Arya's not within sight or hearing distance?
Well, I don't
Just
I
in
don't know
case
what
it does work, and then
I
they won't
don't-
know if it has worked.
but I do not wish to speak ill. Well, they'll probably know because they can't read her mind anymore. But
Okay, true.
I do not wish to speak ill of our guest. But I would much rather prefer Arya in a capable state than, well, like our guest is knowledgeable, but they haven't been capable.
To be fair, my understanding is that this doesn't necessarily interfere with their ability to do anything. It's more that they may be watched,
Yeah.
and we may be watched. But I also understand what Grim is saying.
Well, I would rather include Arya in our plans than our
Arya,
guest.
Arya will be included because as soon as we wake up, I can cast it on Arya again.
Well,
Or if you really wanted, I could cast it on both of them that morning,
okay.
so they're
Well,
both on the same timer. But
in that case, I suggest we cast it on Arya first.
are you sure? I feel like Kaziara would be able to give us a more accurate.
Well, she said she didn't. She had heard of it. They hadn't told her anything about it. She has been able to tell us some things, but in the long run, she hasn't. Oh, actually, there is one reason. No, actually, that doesn't matter because we've completed the ritual, right?
You have, yeah. That's already done.
So,
They already know
well,
that you've done it.
well, that was. It's not so much that as the fact that they can see us through walls and potentially, being able to see your opponent through the wall is quite useful information.
It's not quite that specific. It's
Yeah, you
like
just
the
know
ability.
where they are.
It's like locate creature.
Yeah, but look,
Well,
ambush
Grim,
is out of the question in any way, shape, or form,
Yeah.
unless we're like very far apart. But even that is useful information.
Grim, they'll still both be protected.
Yeah, okay, but like,
I just can't protect them both at the exact same time, or at least we'd either have to rest with both of them feeding this information back, and I'll do it to both of them in the morning, or I do it to one of them now to find out if it even works.
well, definitely do
And
it
I
to
do
one
the
of
other
them
in-
now. But I didn't. I thought you could only do it to like one in the morning. But like, I trust Arya more.
I can. All I'm saying is,
Kaziara has
I
to
can protect
sleep,
both of
correct?
them, and I feel like Kaziara would be the best person to tell us if it even works.
Kaziara does have to sleep. Yes.
Like, sorry, that was a does as an affirmative.
Like-
Yes.
I think that it's better that we actually cast it on Arya if you're going to do anything, because Arya doesn't fully sleep. She remains somewhat aware, and if they have a direct link into that sort of awareness, I think that it's better that the person who's asleep has that still affecting them.
Well, also the person who has trained their mind or steeled their mind against these kinds of things is probably going to be better off than the person who is untrained to deal with this stuff.
All right, we'll go with Arya first then.
Plus, she has more valuable information.
Right, okay, I'll cast it on Arya tonight, and if she tells us that she's not feeling whatever she's been feeling, I'll cast it on Kaziara in the morning. And they'll both be protected for, well, the rest of a long
Well,
time.
we'll see how that works out. But yes.
We'll have to act quickly, though. I don't think protecting both of them for any longer will use a lot of my most powerful magic.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, considering you were waiting last time, but we are trying to, make haste.
Let's just do this.
Okay.
Do you have something to cover their eyes?
Well, you can make the dome opaque of, what's it called? Yeah. Just take them into the dome and leave the other outside the dome.
That's true. Yeah. Anything you do inside the dome will not be visible to anybody outside.
Okay, I guess that works.
You will still need to blindfold the person inside the dome, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we just need to-
blindfolds are not too hard to arrange.
so I'm going to assume you've had this conversation inside the dome.
Oh yeah, that's why
Well,
we're.
because Elizabeth can't move outside of it for the moment.
Oh, okay.
Because the moment she moves outside, it's cancelled.
Well, we'll bring the others.
Okay, so you go and,
Oh, well,
you go
I
and
guess-
retrieve Arya.
Yeah.
Arya Grim comes and fetches you and takes you inside.
Hello. So, what? Well, I guess I shouldn't ask the plan. Just do it.
I was like, what's the plan? Oh, wait, I can't answer that.
I can't ask.
I'll just cast a spell on her.
Okay, so you blindfold Arya, and you cast Mind Blank, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Want me to roll a description or
No, I know what Mind Blank does.
cool.
So, Arya, you hear Elizabeth mutter some arcane words, and all of a sudden, the sensation you were experiencing, where you could sense a number of other creatures other than yourself inside your mind, is blocked.
I think it worked.
You don't feel whatever it was you were feeling?
I do not. It's gone.
Okay, that's pretty good. We can only hope that. Well, obviously can't know for certain if they still can't sense you, but I'm guessing that since it's worked for you, since you can't feel the thing anymore, that it has worked.
Yeah, I'm gonna, because that was the thing that clued both of us into something being wrong.
Yeah.
So seems to have worked, which is great.
That is a thought, actually. We can know if they can still sense you. And I guess at that point, like, Elizabeth's head probably appears through the dome, and she just like, and just goes like, Grim, Kelariis, quick, come in.
Oh yes. That's been done.
And yeah, then and when she dips back in, she's like, you can probably take that off now, Arya.
Well, let's just
Oh,
hold
yeah.
off till we actually know.
Because I was about to say, yeah, apparently she doesn't feel the thing anymore, but I've just thought that there is a way we can test if they would be able to sense her still, because since we still do have one person who's in their network.
Yes. Well, that was what I suggested earlier.
So, with your permission, I would like to go and ask Kaziara if she can sense Arya.
Well, I assume that was. Yeah. Well, that was kind of the plan.
Okay.
Like, it's not going to give them much information that they didn't have already anyway.
Well then, you guys get yourself some rest here.
But just
Well,
in case, Arya.
Elizabeth,
Actually,
remember
yeah,
you
one
can't
of
leave.
you-
You can't leave the bubble.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's a
Okay.
good point. One of you will have to go and get her.
Yes,
Has to
but
get that.
just in case, Arya, do you mind keeping the blindfold on for tonight?
Yeah, it's fine.
You can take it off if you think there's an emergency or whatever. I'll trust your judgment on that.
I'll just keep it on because there's no reason to take it off, really.
Well,
Okay.
let's go fetch our friend.
Yeah.
Okay. So you step outside the bubble, like start walking towards Kaziara. She stands up and she says, I'm going to take a guess and say whatever you did has worked, because whoever is on the other end of this connection is very upset.
Oh, how sad.
Well, let's hope that they're. Yeah, let's hope that that's true and it's not an act. We're still taking precautions just in case it's. Well, it is an act.
From what I got from them, they're angry. They wanted to reach out and communicate with you. They're not interested in talking to me, but
Interesting.
Hmm.
Well, perhaps could it be because I guess we're kind of outsiders because you're, as far as I can tell, your kind is known for hunting them.
I think whatever they wanted to say, probably they don't think it would have convinced me.
Oh, perhaps in that case, it's words best unsaid. Well, we will. Well, guess we're gonna have a rest, and then hopefully we'll fix you up as well. But till then, I guess you want to sleep in safety.
She thinks for a moment, sort of nods and says, "That seems like a sound strategy. I think I do not know whether you've managed to fix it permanently or temporarily, but
Oh, we are certain that this is. You know what? Never mind. We'll tell you tomorrow.
yeah, regardless, what I was going to say is we will likely want to act quickly.
Oh well, we were always on schedule. Well, or always rushed anyway.
I do not wish to reveal too much, but we may want to move on an even faster timescale. Whoever is on the other end is
Just
mobilizing and leaving me out of the loop.
Well, get some rest. Don't think about it too much, so they can't do the mind things. Well, or at least that's I assume that's how that works. And then once we get you in shape, we can continue from there.
She nods resolutely. Sort of steps inside the bubble. And yeah, I guess you guys go to sleep. With the exception of Arya, who doesn't sleep, of course.
No sleep.
No sleep.
Okay.
No sleep.
No
sleep
sleep till dawn. Sorry.
Tune.
Wow.
So,
Capes.
Arya, if you're going to spend the evening blindfolded, can you give me a perception check with disadvantage?
Using just those excellent ears.
What do your elf ears hear?
Okay.
Everything.
Nice.
Yes.
Damn.
Okay, so as you sit in the darkness and listen, you can hear you hear Lyra get up and pad around every now and again. Just sort of, she seems to be aware that you're not at your usual level of awareness, and she seems to be on edge about that. She paces around, checking the area every now and again. But you, over the course of the evening, hear very little. There is a strange sound that you can hear every now and again, and it takes you a while to focus on it, and eventually you work out what it is. There is infrequent water dripping from somewhere nearby, but it's muffled.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all you hear of note.
Okay.
But yeah, the evening passes, and you all get a long rest.
Hooray.
Okay.
Roll that health back.
Yeah, so you get half your healing surges, your spell slots, and your health.
And then deduct another day's worth of ration.
Oh yes, of course.
Mm.
Okay.
There we go.
So yeah, you get a tentative but successful full night's rest.
So, how's your head, Arya?
That's my head, Rob.
You still feel no ill effects.
Great. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
feel anything.
Oh,
well-
one question about mind blank. Telepathic communication with mind blank. Can you allow things, or are you completely cut off?
It just says anything you touch is immune to psychic damage, any effect that would sense its emotions or read its thoughts, divination spells, and even the charmed condition.
Okay. So the one downside of this spell is the aura from the passive effects from the headband. You cannot tell where Arya is because
Well.
that's technically a divination.
I feel like that's our usual state of being. Just
Yeah.
Arya
Where's
sneaking
she
around.
at?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
where,
like if
bitch?
that's the trade-off, I think we're okay. That's a little unfortunate, but it's an okay trade-off, I
Also,
think.
like,
But yeah, before we do anything else, Elizabeth.
I was just about to say that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Just going
Okay.
to stand behind Kaziara, touch her on the shoulder, bam, mind blank.
Okay. You cast Mind Blank on Kaziora, and she is a little startled, but she like straightens up, like goes to take off the blindfold, pauses, and says, "May I?"
Well, if you're not feeling the feeling,
She takes it off.
right? Okay, so now that they're not listening in on us, that'll last 24 hours.
That is impressive magic. I will admit, this is a strange sensation. I am not used to being so isolated in my thoughts.
Well, as long as it doesn't throw you off too much, we should get going. Like she said, we have less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
We already had a
Given how long we've had to sleep, we have 16 hours before we need to do Aya's again.
Kaziora nods and says, "I think that should suffice. If the Elder's reach is strong enough that it can interfere with our minds, it cannot be more than a few miles in any direction."
It can still be in any direction, but at least we have this stairway as a clue.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll turn to the trapdoor.
Okay.
Kelariis, I'm no longer strong enough to lift those, by the way. Well, unless they're empty, in which case I might be able to, but
No, I got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we did stack the crates on top, so it's
Yeah.
going to be a hassle. But yeah,
Yeah,
I could do it when I was a giant genie, but I can't now.
Kelariis, you push the crates aside so there's enough space
I
to lift the lid.
flex real hard.
Hell yeah.
You flex and the crates move themselves. They're like, nope, not dealing with that.
she's,
Yeah.
It's the force of the flex, just like a gust of air pushes them.
Just blow it away.
Yeah, just flexes and there's like a sonic wave, just whoosh.
Oh my god.
God, could you imagine though?
That would be
That'd
really funny.
that'd
That's
be
if
one
we
hell
lived
of a
in an anime.
superpower, is all I'm saying.
Yep.
True.
It's like when you like when you dash through all the destructibles in Hades, just.
Oh yeah, they all just break.
Oh.
That should be a feature. More people who have super strength should be able to flex so hard it creates a shockwave.
No. Anyway.
That's how I do destructive wave. I get it.
Hell yeah.
No, I'm joking. Honestly, doing the sword thing is much cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thunder crash.
Yeah.
Or maybe you do the flash and then you just do a flex, you know?
Anyway,
Kelariis isn't flashy. It's fine.
what are you doing with this trapdoor?
Open it.
Are we going?
Well,
Oh,
unless we have anything else to take
Yeah.
care of.
I mean, the thingy was down. That leads down.
Well, I guess we did say we'd light the bodies on fire as we went down,
Oh yeah, we
Uh,
did, didn't we?
but
Yeah.
that's it.
I can set things on fire from a distance.
Let's do it in a more gentle way, just out of respect.
Oh yeah.
Uh.
I've just realised wizards with firebolt must be fucking great at a Viking funeral.
Well, if we want to get into technicalities, technically Firebolt can't directly set things on fire, but
Fortunately,
semantics.
it can't set things on fire because that
Yeah.
would be a mess.
It does say a
Truly.
flammable object hit by this spell ignites if it isn't being worn or carried.
Oh well.
Anyway,
Um,
you take
Well-
the effort to, having prepared the bodies last night,
we did
light
that.
light the pyre, twist the heavy iron ring, and lift it up. Kelariis, as you touch the heavy iron ring, it's colder than you were expecting. It's not that cold in this room.
Mhm.
In fact, it's actually probably quite warm because of the molten rock that's flowing nearby.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, the ring is colder to the touch, and as you lift it up, there is a chill air that emanates upwards as you lift it up.
Hmm. Sure, that's fine.
Actually,
Give-
there's no
give
such thing as
me-
the cold air. That's actually all the heat leaving the room.
Anyway, give me a perception check, Kelariis.
Sure.
Actually, wait. What is your passive perception?
Bad.
I love that.
What is your passive perception?
An 11.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Sure.
Okay.
Nice.
You swear as you turn this, there is like almost like a waft of sea air.
Oh, that should
Oh.
like smell from a mile away.
Interesting.
Sure hope that's not somebody fucking with me. This will be real sad. Yeah, I mean, I think getting that sort of like smell and feeling is kind of like a quick pause, but not like enough
Yeah.
to stop. Yeah.
Oh,
Just kinda like a
the other
pause, like, huh.
the other thing you notice, the underside of the trapdoor is wet. Like ever so slightly, there is a thin layer of water on it.
It's moist.
Damp, I think would be the better
Yeah.
word here.
Because metal doesn't get moist.
So, Arya, you still have that ring of swimming, or did I have it?
None of
Somebody
you
else
know
doesn't
this
have
yet.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I probably don't say anything about the
We're all
sea
just stood behind Kelariis like,
breeze
yo, what's happening?
thing going on, but like, I probably would point out like, that's a bit odd that the underside of this is damp. I put emphasis on damp.
Yep. Yeah, and
Cold down there, it can't be steam. Or is it steam?
probably not at the top of a shaft with a ladder leading down. But as you look around, you do notice that the walls like have the telltale signs of like slow water erosion.
Oh, did they have that slippery stuff on them?
Algae?
Yeah, well, like maybe like there's algae. I guess it's mostly algae that make it slippery.
It's probably not damp enough to be like that slimy. It does look like the ladder underneath the it's like a combination of metallic rungs and like slots in the stone for feet. Which the rungs themselves look weathered by time and elements, but don't look to be rusty. But the footholds are decidedly worn.
Well, we're not going to get tetanus at least.
That's the least of our problems right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well,
Ah,
if
shit.
we're going,
Shit, something literally just ate my brain, but at least I don't have tetanus.
if we're going down, watch your step.
Good shout.
Oh, I guess shall I go first, considering dark vision and all?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Decide an order in which you descend this ladder. So Grim first.
I'm assuming that I need to keep holding this open?
It's not that heavy, and you can sort of prop it on the other side.
Okay. I might go down after Grim then, unless somebody else has strong feelings.
No, I'm comfortable with you two go first. Then I guess I'll go after them.
Okay.
How are we gonna get Lyra down here?
I don't know.
Well, you know, somehow she makes her way down everywhere, so she'll be fine, hopefully.
Yeah, unfortunately she's too big now to do the whole rope around the waist trick.
Yeah. She's too big to even fit in Learman's tiny hut.
She is.
She had to stay outside that whole time.
Maybe she's big enough to, just like go head first and then just breathe into, just jam yourself and then breathe out and then breathe in.
I don't know.
This is a dog we're talking about who's scared of going in caves.
Yeah.
I don't think she'd like that very much.
Well, she can either do that or be left behind.
Lyra's not having a good day.
What
No.
are we doing?
I mean, I can't take her down there, so I guess I'll stay up here with Lyra.
Well, we're all. I think
Wait.
we can't really split up because of the nature of this place.
Yeah.
I could have almost brought her with me, but she's too big.
Maybe we need to find another way down.
Well, okay, how about this? Whilst because the ladder's it's a sturdy ladder, right?
Reasonably, yes.
Could you kind of have Lyra just kind of like awkwardly sit on your shoulder, like
She is a
with her
large.
ass? No, but like I know, but like the entryway is small.
We're talking about here.
Yep, but the entryway is small, so she's kind of like kept upright because she's squeezed in. But then you can kind of have her rest on Kelariis' shoulders as a way to not just crash down. Just ass on Kelariis' shoulders, or
Ass on shoulders.
or maybe more thighs, but like wolf thighs are a bit odd.
Haunches. Oh god. I mean, look, if that's what we're going to try, I'm more than willing to do it. I don't know how much Lyra's going to like that. And I gotta look at Arya.
Or we can make him. Otherwise, we can make him makeshift rope harness, but she's gonna have to squeeze down regardless.
Did we check these other entryways?
Well, yeah. Well, it goes to our friends, or not so great friends, I guess.
One of them goes off to the north, doesn't it? Could that lead to stairs? I didn't go.
Not where we're heading right now.
No, you'd be going in the wrong direction.
Oh, okay.
You can totally tie a rope around Lyra and try to like slowly lower her down. It's just going to take some time to do so.
Well, I
mean-
guess if that's the only option.
I mean, okay. Here's a would she fit like going like would she fit going like straight down like face or like
That's what
ass
we're talking
first?
about.
Yeah.
She's not going to
Okay,
fit
well-
lengthways. She has to go.
Okay. Well, I've got a better idea than awkward roping. Could I just feather fall her so she just drops, but gently?
Yes, theoretically, provided the ladder doesn't go further than Featherfall.
Oh, well, that's like 600 feet or more. Ridiculous.
Well, at the moment, you don't know how deep it goes.
Well, I guess we send someone down first, and then.
Okay,
Lyra
so
after.
so Grim is making his way down first, then.
So let's okay, because you want to do the feather fall, let's do me, then you, Elizabeth, then Polaris with Lyra on top kinda, and then Arya. And then
And then because
Elizabeth can like use feather fall for the final bit if necessary.
Okay, so Grim. First of all, I need, as you're assessing the way down, a dexterity roll, please. Actually, you can use athletics.
Well, I will take athletics over dexterity any day.
So yeah, I'll allow athletics or acrobatics. Okay. Yeah, you tentatively make your way down. It's a little treacherous in places, but you make it to the bottom. As you sort of get to the bottom, it's more than reasonable for a featherfall to be able to get you down, or get Lyra down.
Cool.
Great.
So I guess I'm going down now.
Yep. Athletics or acrobatics?
I will take acrobatics over athletics. Fuck.
Okay. So about halfway down the ladder, you slip and fall.
Ow.
What are you doing?
Oh god. How far is it?
You can't see the bottom.
I'm gonna try and cast Feather Fall on myself
Okay.
now, aren't I?
So you slip and fall. Your reflex is to cast Featherfall. You slowly descend to the bottom of the ladder.
Cool. I've realised I could have done that more efficiently, but oh well.
Fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Kelariis?
Yeah.
Athletics or acrobatics?
Athletics. Sorry, I'm also trying to like shuffle spells at the same time.
That's fine. Okay, yep. You make it down, no issue. You're due to the just sort of like the bulk of muscle that you have, you're actually able to just sort of like lean yourself out against the back of the shaft so that you can prop yourself up against the wall so that you can find your footing easier, so that you're not leaving yourself hanging all the time.
That's fun.
But yeah, you quite dexterously make your way down.
Nice.
Then I guess Lyra is left at the top with a rope harness for Arya. So I guess
coax this wolf into doing this.
I guess
Fuck you.
Lyra, give me an athletics or acrobatics with disadvantage.
Cool.
Well,
She's gonna
admittedly,
be
we're
so
kind
mad about this.
of expecting her to fall and then just feather
She
fall
doesn't have
through,
either
right?
of those stats.
So it's either strength or dexterity. Okay.
I was gonna say, is the ladder like a shaft, or does it actually lead into a room where I can see up the ladder?
So basically,
Or have
what
we stood like at the base of the ladder to even see what's going on?
it's a shaft that descends down into a it opens out into a chamber that is actually not really sort of like a hewn stone chamber. It's more like the entrance to a cave.
Aye.
And yeah, basically, as you're standing at the bottom, like waiting for Lyra to come down, you just hear scratching and yelping, and Arya trying to like soothe her as she comes down, and then eventually it's just like you just hear like a horrible, like a huge yelp, and she just comes careening down, and you just feather fall. She gets to the bottom, like runs around in a circle, shakes herself out, like flops on the floor, and is just like.
Poor dog.
Forever traumatized.
I know.
The amount of shit that I make this poor wolf do.
Well, you know, this poor demigod makes it sound
She
less
is a
bad.
demigod.
That's almost worse.
Is it? I don't know.
How
You know,
how,
like,
how,
I
how
feel
tall
this-
is the ladder? Like,
How tall is the ladder?
yeah.
Probably in the region of like 180 feet, something like that.
Oof.
It's a long way up.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so I guess last two down, Arya and Kaziora. So Arya, go first. Make me athletics or acrobatics. Yep. No problem. You sort of leap from handhold to handhold as you come down. And Kaziora. Yeah, also no problem.
Cool. Once we're all at the bottom, I'm going to cast Mage Armor on myself before I forget.
Okay, you made your armor up. I will point out as you reach, as you've been climbing down this thing, it's very dark. There is no natural light down here, so I'm assuming you're all lighting light sources.
Yes. Yes, give me Dagger of Light.
Okay. Grim, are you igniting yours, or are you just relying on dark vision?
I get like depend like I guess it, like is it a does it look like we're going down a like a long thing or like a bendy or like a lot of bends and curves or is it kind of like straight path?
So it's opening out into a cave system.
Well, I guess considering that I have the brightest torch of us all, I should probably
Brightest
just.
torch of us all.
Well,
Okay.
like it's like literally twice as bright.
What is
So,
your radius of light?
40 40.
40, 40, so it's 80, 40. Okay, you ignite it.
Might give us away, but I guess we'll have to deal with that later.
Okay, so you begin to make your way into this cave system. Whilst it opens out into like a cavernous space, there really is only one way forward. And as you proceed through it, the cave itself is damp. There is definitely like a great deal of underground flora and fauna growing down here. You see like shuffling, like running away from your torchlight as you advance forward. There's clearly living creatures down here. Not large, but larger than your everyday wildlife.
Alright.
And I guess probably everybody would start to notice that there is like a salty tang in the air, and the cool air is constant down here. It's circulating out through these caverns, and the further in you continue, you hear the sounds of like water dripping off the walls. There are quite clear stalagmites where the water has formed rock formations on the ceiling. And eventually you hear the sound of quite fast flowing water, and a lot of it.
Okay.
The kind of flow that's coming towards us, sort of kind of flow that's in the distance.
It's ahead of you. It's not coming towards you in that sense.
Good.
But it is flowing somewhere up ahead of you, and you can hear it echoing through the caverns.
It's like approaching like a very fast flowing river, but underground.
Yes.
Cool.
Say, Kelariis,
Yes.
do you sense anything?
You mean with the words?
Which, yeah, you were.
Not
Divine
paladin.
divine sense or
Yeah.
with baton?
Oh, actually,
Could do
you
both.
said. Oh, I was gonna say it was your baton, but then I remembered. It doesn't cross the water, does it?
I think there's like a certain amount of. Hold on, wait.
Yeah, it depends how much of flowing water it is.
Well, it's more if I was more thinking if it's an audible amount of water, it's probably going to be too much.
Almost certainly.
Oh, that doesn't listen. Hold on. I have to.
Oh,
I pulled up the
okay.
spell or the item sheet and I was like, wait, no, not that one. I need the spell.
Not this one.
Running water at least 10 feet wide blocks a direct path between you and the creature.
I guess that is not.
So that must be what's.
I mean,
why
the
you
thing is
lost
that
it.
there's no harm in me trying because I can just do this now.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, and
So,
also
like,
if you can't pick anything up, then now we know
Well,
why.
Yeah, like.
Okay,
yeah,
so you reach out for the baton looking for Lithid. And yeah, it is prevented.
Okay.
You find
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, just kind of shrug and I don't feel anything right now, but the water might be stopping that, so I wouldn't put it out of the question that it's just out of range or anything.
Yeah.
Well, who's up for trying to cross some water?
Well, let's
I mean, it
find.
might not be a huge deal of crossing, but yeah.
Let's find the water first, I guess. But yeah,
Okay.
like makes sense to me. Like secret lair, and have some protections.
Secret tunnel
Secret
Secret
tunnel.
Okay.
Just
through the mountain.
So, following along this path, it begins to narrow a little until you are basically like half scrambling up an incline that eventually sort of levels out. And as it levels out at the top, and you pull yourselves up, you find yourselves on a thin ledge snaking its way around a very large body of water that is rushing by you at a fairly significant pace. And as you sort of like look down into the water with your various light sources, this thing is deep, very deep, probably 30 or 40 feet deep. The volume of water passing through this tunnel must be huge.
there any?
There you go.
We're getting visuals.
You're getting
holy shit.
visuals.
Oh,
That's
wow,
a
yeah,
lot-
that is
that's-
some water.
That's a
That
lot more
is
than 10 feet
water.
of water.
Yes, it is traveling rather rapidly in this direction.
I assume that log is not stationary.
The
Okay.
log is stationary.
Okay.
So they in the glow of your torchlight in the glow of your sword light up ahead of you, there is basically a log that has become essentially like tangled up in what looks to be like a tangled web of kelp. That is like almost seems to be like suspended, like it's between these two, like between this island here and the cave wall, like it's grown up and formed like a natural barrier that the log has snagged on.
So,
I am-
I can hold my breath forever, and even I don't want to try and cross that.
I don't think holding your breath is going to be the problem in this case. It's going to be you smashing against the rocks in the water.
Yeah, that too.
I suggest we We tie each other together with some rope. Because if anybody falls in this river, I'm pretty sure that's the last we'll see of them.
I mean, the other thing is that, as dangerous as it is, we won't fare very well in our armor. And I look at, like, between me and Grim.
That too. Although, we've building. I wouldn't say we're agile. That's true. No, I'm not gonna.
I was gonna say, we're not agile.
Hmm. So, let's see. We could. I see. I guess the question is, do we want to see if we can climb across? Or I guess I still have I have a potential idea. I haven't pulled this thing out in quite some time. However, I do still have a light crossbow.
That's a question. Is this actually water, or is it all just one big illusion?
Do you want to test that theory?
Well,
sorry, how do you want to test that theory?
I was gonna say, I don't depend. Well, no, because then if it was all one big illusion, it wouldn't have blocked locate creature. But then again, obviously, substantially less than this can block locate creature. So if only a small amount of it is
Also,
actually real,
we don't know if that was actually the reason. They could also just not be in range.
yeah, true.
But what I was going to suggest is we have, well, I guess we even have 2 grappling hooks from our adventures from a while back, and we have a crossbow and rope. If you see where I'm going with this, I'd say if we can get one person across, we could perhaps attach, like, I guess the island there doesn't have much going on for it, does it?
No, it essentially seems to be a large portion of rock that is just like raised up out of the water that is covered in like a thin shale across the top of it.
How far can I safely shimmy up?
What on this set of
Here,
basically these half tiles you can sort of stand on. They'll basically count as difficult terrain to move on because you have to shimmy. But
I just wanted to get a better image.
Although you're small, so actually it probably wouldn't slow you down all that much.
I can think of a way that might make this quite a bit easier, but again, it's pretty high-level magic I'm thinking of here.
Well, here's a thought. We're making a huge assumption that we want to get across there, which is a fair assumption to make, but Elizabeth, is Scarlet not with you?
I can get her.
Can she see in the dark? I don't actually know.
Let me check.
I don't think so.
I don't.
Well,
I
shit.
don't think.
Well, she has other senses.
She's got dark vision.
Oh, she has got dark vision. Okay.
Oh, she's got
I was
10
gonna
feet. She's got 10 feet of blind sight.
Okay.
Damn.
Great.
Yeah,
Dang.
it's dragon. Well, pseudo dragon.
Pseudo
Yeah,
dragon.
I will
That's why
bring
it was
forth-
iffy because she's a pseudo dragon. I wasn't sure, but
Yeah, I'll call Scarlet.
because that seems
Okay.
like a having the flying creature go across doesn't seem
Yeah.
like an awful idea to check what's.
Yeah,
might be over there.
that's a good shout right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess.
So what's her dark
I'll have
vision?
60 feet.
60.
Yeah, and she has advantage on all perception checks.
Okay. Yeah, she's now a token you should be able to control.
Okay, so as long as she's within 100 feet of me, I can. Oh wait, no, that's okay. I don't want to telepathically communicate with her. That's bad.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I will say to her I'm going to say to her in person before we do this because she can understand me. Like, okay, Unfortunately, I'm going to have to ask you to not use your telepathy while we're here, okay?
But wait, can I even communicate without telepathy?
Well,
Well,
she's still a creature. She can still make noises, and you can still nod her head.
Yeah.
she cocks her head at you and just goes.
Half dragon!
Aw. Okay. No telepathy, but can you scout on ahead for bad stuff, like over on that island?
Just sort of like flicks the tongue at you and like pats the feet.
Oh. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna point at the island and say, "Go have a look."
Okay.
And then
She
she'll
flies off. Okay, she flies off, lands on the island. I have just realised that. Oh wait, no, you can see through her senses, can't you?
Yeah.
I was gonna say because
well,
she can't describe back to you what it looks like
No.
because without
Well, this
telepathy.
thing, I can see through her senses if I completely shut myself off to my own senses. So someone
Yes.
please look after me while I can't sense anything.
Yeah, if you let us know you're doing that, I'll keep an eye on you.
Yeah.
Kelariis just holds onto your collar.
Yeah, honestly though.
Why my collar? Why not just my arm? Like a normal person.
You know.
More body weight behind the collar, but
I guess. She's like 50 feet away, so. So yeah, I guess she'll just. She could be up to 100 feet away.
yeah, I'm just holding out a line so you've got a general idea.
Oh, thank you. That's very helpful. Oh dear. And
What do your dragon eyes see?
What do your dragon eyes see?
yeah, I'm gonna ask her to come back.
Okay, she starts to come back.
And then, yeah, once she's back to my senses, and Elizabeth's just gonna say, Jesus Christ. She's just gonna be like, jeez, this thing is long.
Who the fuck
Wide.
is Jesus?
Yeah.
Who's
she just goes,
Jesus?
"Jeez."
Who is
She-
Jesus?
yeah, she just goes, jeez, this is wide. She just flew up to the maximum reach where I can still sense through her senses, and I still couldn't see the other side. There's quite a few islands, but they're too far for me to just misty step across.
Have you checked just on the other side of the wall that I'm standing at?
Yeah, there is another little outcropping like that we're stood on, about 10-15 feet around that corner.
Could you check? Just follow the, check up north a little, or like up there a little.
Go then, Scarlet. Along the bank, I guess.
Okay.
And I'll go back into her senses.
I mean, I low-key have a bad feeling that this might be an actual ocean.
I'm into it.
Ooh!
Okay.
I don't like that noise.
So give me a perception check with Scarlet senses.
Oh, come on, I saw that.
You did, but you don't know what you saw.
Okay, yeah, true.
It's not comforting.
Oh yeah, I don't have a toggle thing. But then again, she gets advantage.
Okay.
I'm assuming she's relying. Oh well, it doesn't matter. The first one was higher anyway.
Okay, so there is basically like you spot on the outcropping ahead of you that there is a creature with like that's halfway between like half man, half fish. And perhaps even more lizard-like than fish, but with like clearly like designed for aquatic habitation.
I believe there's a merman.
That is basically sort of perched on the outcropping, essentially like presumably like either scavenging or like looking for something.
A friend?
Friend.
Okay, yeah.
He just wants a nice friend.
I know, I guess. So yeah, I guess Scarlet comes back. Elizabeth just goes, okay, so there's another little. So yeah, on the other side of that cliff grim, there's another little outcropping about the same size as this one. Then there's another bit where it goes straight into the water. Then it goes into another outcropping, but then there's someone at that outcropping.
When
So if we went upstream, there'd be outcropping, then another bit where it goes into water, then outcropping, and then there was like some sort of some like fish humanoid there, fish lizard humanoid living in
Were-
water type.
were they
Give me a nature check.
Okay.
Okay, so from your education of what kind of creatures are these? Oh, they are just humanoids. Okay, so from your knowledge of like low depth aquatic dwellers, if you had to put a name to these creatures, you would call them Sahorgin.
Oh.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically they are creatures that are supposed to live in the depths of deep oceans, and notoriously don't have a great relationship with anything that breathes air.
Yeah. In that case, she's gonna say, yeah. In that case, after the lizard fish people, she's like, I think it looked a bit like a Sahagin. I don't think they'd be very friendly.
But possibly nobody except Arya knows what a Sahorgin is. Although actually, probably
So-
Kelariis probably has heard mythology about Sahorgin coming from the ocean.
Yeah.
So,
fair enough.
so yeah, moving upstream would be one hell of a challenge, and it looks like there's a fight on the other side of it.
Wait, they're fighting?
No, they're not fighting, but like I said,
Oh,
they're not typically friendly to surface people, land people.
Well, the thing is, if there's one there, I bet there's more.
Exactly.
So what are we gonna do about it?
Is that the way that we need to go, or
I don't know. I don't know if we need to go like just across that way, or if we need to be going upstream.
Yeah, that is kind of the problem we have.
Yeah.
There's still, yeah, those islands like that one are still intermittently scattered throughout. And like I said, none of them are conveniently placed for misty stepping.
So
Yeah.
we need to find a way of transportation over a rather rough river. Or well, is it even a river at this size? Well, I guess it is.
it could be a really large river?
Oh, I will say as well, the battle map doesn't show it, but if Scarlet were to fly this way, it would basically go out further into like basically like a wide lake that basically has I guess it would probably end in like essentially in a whirlpool that is descending down to a cavern floor somewhere underneath the massive lake.
Joy.
So you are guessing that upstream is really the only reasonable way to go.
Yeah.
So we have. I feel like if we're gonna cross it, we would have to have some kind of way to just either walk on water or float or like in the air or something along those lines. Because otherwise, we're not going to get across anytime soon. So what we're gonna have to do is, I guess, just follow this upstream, because you weren't able to spot the other side of this river, right?
No. No, I wasn't. But I have just had a thought.
Yes.
Do you still have, like, climbing kit stuff?
We have grappling hooks. We already talked about using those.
Oh, yeah, no, we have 4 climbing kits. Like, full-on climbing kits.
Because what I'm thinking is, could we... Say someone was able to levitate and drag themselves along the wall without fear of falling. Could they in theory use said kits to set up handholds that would allow the rest of us to simply slip along the sides of the walls like that?
That could
Theoretically,
work.
yes.
But there's a problem. We
What's
have
that?
Lyra.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true.
Well,
Can Lyra swim?
Lyra can swim, yes.
She can
Could
swim,
you-
but
How
this
good of a
river,
swimmer
I
is she
think, is
against-
This river is
pretty.
has a strong
a
current.
bit fast for her.
Can she? No, there's not enough space for her to run and jump.
So, essentially, I think everybody has a swim speed that is, like, I can't remember what swim speed
It's
is.
meant to be half your land movement.
Yeah, it's half your land movement speed unless you have another one, and technically, again, this water is crossable, but it would basically it would be considered what I would call dangerous terrain, where it's going to slow you down and you're going to be making checks to cross it. But the hazard of getting swept away is if you were failing those checks. It's not like immediately you fall in the water, you're swept. But obviously, those of you in heavy armor are going to have a real difficulty making those checks.
well, at least
my
we're harder
only
to
other-
sweep away.
My
No!
only other... Wow, no. No, you're easier.
Well,
Anyway.
we just need more weight. That's the solution.
Yeah, but,
Yeah. Diving suits.
my only other idea is I could, in theory, turn myself into an elemental that's much better at traversing water.
Yeah, and how
and
would that help?
Can help you guys across that way.
Yep, I don't see how that would help us.
Because
I could potentially take one of us, unfortunately not Lyra, with me if depending on how far this goes. Hold on.
Dimension door.
Yeah, within 500 feet. So I think that's still in the range of what's being described.
Oh yeah, that should be like.
wait,
We are-
how far?
500 feet. But I can
Oh,
only
yeah.
take one of us, and I can't take Lyra, who would be the most ideal person because she
Yeah,
can't.
because she's
That's
big.
like the hardest one
Yeah.
to. Yeah, she's unfortunately slightly too big for me to do that now.
You know what? Whilst we do this, I'm just gonna try and poke something in the water to get a depth measurement.
We already know it's like 30, 40 feet deep.
Yeah, but also like
in the shallows, it very quickly falls away. But probably at the shallowest point, it's like right up close to you. It's probably like maybe 10 feet.
So it's still it's basically a cliff still.
Yeah,
we can't
whilst the water is basically like lapping at the edges here, it does fall away very quickly.
We can't wade through it.
Not effectively, no. The current as well is also slightly less aggressive up close, but
I don't. I mean,
So what I'm thinking is, could we determine like, would you say this is it flowing at more than 40 feet per second? Or per
No.
6 seconds, I guess?
no.
Because with the ring of swimming, should be able to swim upstream.
Do you have to attune to the ring of swimming?
No, that's what I'm thinking. However, there is one little detail.
Doesn't help Lyra.
Just jam it on her paw.
I
God,
don't
you'd be
know if
so
that would work.
Just like on a single toenail.
See, my suggestion for the elemental was I could just carry people.
Can't carry Lyra.
An elemental
As
could.
an elemental.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Elemental
elemental
is
large.
size class large.
I could totally carry Lyra.
Isn't Lyra also size class large?
Yeah, but you can.
Can Kelariis carry you? Yes, there you go.
Yeah, it's to do with strength modifier, and most elementals are strength 20 or so. So yes, they can.
Yeah, a water elemental is strength 18.
Yeah, it could like Lyra is well within because Lyra is large, but Lyra is not actually that heavy.
Yeah.
So yeah, feasibly a water elemental could carry Lyra.
Yeah. Kelariis is probably heavier than Lyra.
Yeah, maybe. Probably. Well, actually, I don't know. Lyra's big now.
In armor, it's I would say Kelariis is heavier. Because actually, hang on, does it tell me the weight of a direwolf in the compendium?
Also, water elementals swim good.
Yeah.
Water elementals swim real good.
It does not. I'm gonna Google it.
Well, the only reason why I'm a little hesitant is because it is a lot. It's powerful magic ones, but like,
Yeah.
I guess we kind of want to get going, and I guess there's another issue.
It's powerful magic that lasts an hour. I'd still be able to get.
Well,
Combat
that's
use
not
out of it.
that was not the issue. It was more. It's gonna. Well, actually, it's still going to be an issue if you break it mid combat and they're still in the river. But it was more. It's going to draw a lot of attention. As far as I remember, the elementals we fought have not been low key, except for when they're like idling in their habitat, which you will not be doing.
According to Wikipedia, Lyra would weigh about 160 pounds.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Yeah, that's pretty light.
That's like I think I always get up to that amount of weight with Grim as all his gear. I'm still less, but you know.
But yeah, anyway. Also, like a point, if we're going upriver, eventually we're going to run into Sahorgan. That, we're not going to exactly. How are we going to sneak up to the Sahorgan when they're watching? They're around there looking for something. So they're already on high alert, looking for something.
Oh, they're on high alert, you say?
Well, the one that I saw was looking for something, like either scavenging or I don't know what. But they're looking for something. They're going to be keeping their eyes open. We're not going to be able to sneak up on them in this environment.
Well, I wasn't quite expecting to sneak up on them, but
I don't know. What else can we do?
well, there's plenty of things we can try, but I think just in the name of time, we should probably just go with it.
Okay, no, wait. I guess there is another option.
Yes.
If we climbed around, we being, me, you, Arya, Kelariis, and Kazara, we could in theory levitate Lyra around the cliffs.
Yeah. So, but I guess in that case, we can just do the thing you suggested at first was the levitate. Except the difference will be you don't levitate the first person round.
We levitate Lyra around, and as long as Lyra stays close enough to the wall, she can drag herself along the wall.
Well, what I'm thinking is we'll just use what are those things called in the climbing kits? The thing that guides the rope. we just we use that? I think we could use that to create like a guiding line that we could just pull around. Just pull the floating wolf.
Yeah, in theory, yes.
This is
Blair's
getting
gonna be so
increasingly
mad by the end of this.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's gonna be like, "Fuck all you people, I'm out."
Also,
Next time, just buy some incense and just resummon me, please.
Yeah,
I have to realize we have
For
we have-
real?
She doesn't
I
even
mean, I
need that
could-
anymore.
I
I
could
also just realized we
resummon
have-
her, I guess.
Yeah. I guess we do also have 4 climbing kits and 5 people.
Well, yes, but
Yeah, but I feel like that's something that we can work around versus Lyra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I mean, one workaround is I have unlimited teleports.
and where would you teleport to? Considering you can't reach the island.
I could get on that log
I don't
Seems
know if I.
unsafe.
and then
Yeah.
teleport onto there.
Hey, what? I'm
but
not
then
sure if
from
I.
There would you go? From there
Well,
would you go even?
Yeah, there I'm stuck, admittedly.
Okay, so at this point, like Kaziara, like sort of has for the last like couple of minutes while you've been discussing, Kaziara has been like looking at the cliffs ahead of you, then like looking at the island, and then like trying to judge the distance between them. And she sort of says, "If you can get yourselves into an advantageous position, I may be able to navigate a little better by myself. I do have 1 or 2 tricks still up my sleeve. My concern is that once we get to a location, finding a strategic position against the Sahorgan will be difficult."
I don't think we'll have the option for strategic position, but we'll have to make do.
The problem is, whoever's first around the cliff will have to make sure to leave ample space behind them for everybody else. You'll kind of have to rush in.
Yes, but like we should. Okay, well, I guess the question is, I'll give you the choice this time. Elemental or climbing? What do you think?
Is that aimed at me or at
Yeah,
everyone?
yes, at you.
Well, you're the only one who can turn into an elemental.
And I am just thinking of the last time we tried to climb sideways along a cliff. I wasn't particularly helpful.
This is a different sort of situation, though. At least.
This should be more reasonable.
Kaziara like holds up a hand and says, "Might I try something then?"
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
She turns to you, Grim, and says, "I'll need one of your climbing kits and length of rope."
Sure. I'll just make it appear essentially from my bag.
Okay. Shoop. Yeah, she puts on the climbing gear, pitons, hammer, etc. Takes the length of rope, gives you the other end, and says, "Hold on to this."
Okay.
And she will advise everyone to move out of the way, sprint up to here, and take a running leap. And you watch as she propels herself forward. She has, like, even with the speed at which she manages to like sprint forward, she doesn't have anywhere near the momentum to make it to the log in front of you. But despite that fact, she makes it. Almost
oh,
like
shit.
she gets an extra boost while in the air. She makes contact with the log like shudders underneath her, and then she springs agilely around the corner, disappearing from your sight. You feel the rope go taut in your grip, Grim,
Oh, yep.
and you hear the familiar sound of like of a piton being hammered into stone. And yeah, like the rope is now taut in your hands. And over the sound of the water, Kaziara calls back, "It's secure."
Okay. Well, I guess you're like I guess I'll hold the rope and then say you guys can go first. I've got the ring of swimming, so I can. Well, if anything happens, at least I can, just swim.
Okay. Also, put Scarlet away.
Wait, did we ever decide what we're doing with Lyra?
Oh yeah, we should probably have Elizabeth go last then. Oh, not last, but like help send Lyra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay. Are we doing the float thing for Lyra?
But yeah, we're gonna have to send her around last, aren't we? Because she's gonna have to be dragged along the rope.
The
Alright.
wolf balloon.
Well, she doesn't have to be dragged along the rope. She can drag herself around over the rock.
I don't trust a wolf to have the agility to
What?
cling to a wall.
She
I-
has the
That's-
best agility
she's
in the
got-
whole fucking party.
Well,
She's got
I know
claws.
that. Like
She's
I
big
know
and
she's
clawsy.
agile, but like wolves aren't known for their like weightless clinging to walls abilities.
Yeah, she doesn't have the grip to be able to navigate as well.
she can.
Come
Like-
on, she's got claws.
But like claws don't dig into rocks really well.
They dig in about as well as fingers.
Like fingers can wrap around.
Okay, so we're tying a rope to Lyra to help her along, I guess.
Yeah,
Well, I guess,
I
Arya,
guess.
you're probably the best candidate to help Lyra across if you want to go with her
Yeah.
and lead the way.
Lyra is going to hate this.
Well, I guess we can just reuse the harness that we used before.
I will use a feature that I have never used up until this point, and I will use my innate ability to cast levitate.
We've
Okay.
used it once.
You've used
I'm
that
pretty sure.
before.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I've used it once before.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you used it the last time we were rock climbing.
Oh
Cliff
yeah.
climbing.
Probably
That's
actually,
true.
yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I
Well-
guess I will levitate. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but I will levitate Lyra.
Lyra is
Uh,
levitated.
I'll just make her float like, 'cause it says up to 20 feet. I'll just say she's levitating like 5 feet above the ground.
Okay.
So not to freak her out too much.
Yeah.
Lyra is now floating 5 feet above the ground.
I'm just imagining that fucking scene from Peter Pan where they make the dog fly.
Oh god.
Yeah, because it's definitely not the scene from Shrek where Donkey flies. Lyra is not enjoying herself
Yeah.
that much.
No. She's like, put me the fuck on the ground.
You may have seen a house fly, maybe even a superfly, which bet you ain't never seen
A donkey fly. Oh. Okay,
Anyway,
so Grim, you are beginning the climb around.
Oh no,
I think Grim's
I'm holding the
rope while we
I'm
go
just-
around.
yeah.
So
I guess-
it is currently only secured on one side. So if you want to have the rope secured properly for people to climb around, somebody's going to have to go through and secure sections along the way.
Yeah. Well, I guess. Oh, maybe should I just go do it? Because
I mean, Grim or
I can
Clarissa
hold
will be
the
the best
rope if
qualified
you
for
want.
that.
Well, yeah. So
Well, don't hold the rope. Secure it on this side. That's probably way easier.
from a mechanical perspective, whoever goes first will be rolling athletics, and everyone who follows will be rolling athletics with advantage.
Well, I guess.
Man, you should have sent me first. I have the best athletics.
My athletics aren't that bad.
I have a plus 11.
I mean, same. So
Yeah,
Fair
Clarissa
enough.
is just beefy,
Beef.
Wow.
strong.
sometimes I forget that Arya has.
I have really good strength too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair.
Wait,
yeah.
how-
Aya's, there you go.
Yeah.
Look, you've been looking for a strong archer all your life. There she is. She's been in front of you this whole time.
Wow.
This
The
whole
past 3
time.
years.
She's a natural 20 ass and everything.
That's right. Oh my god.
There you go, the
Wow.
perfect specimen.
A perfect specimen.
Anyway,
She's been right there. For the
Who's
past
going
3
Wait,
years.
she has a fucking big wolf like.
Yeah, she has
This
everything
is
you could ever want.
perfect.
She has everything
But
you
Kelariis
could
is in
ever want.
Jayla.
that's very
That's-
true.
Yeah.
This is fine. Well,
Anyway.
I guess considering I have
we
the
don't
ring
know,
of
we don't know
swimming,
Kelariis'
if,
faith in ladies. We just know that
like,
Arya
guess
is
if-
probably Jayla's ideal.
Anyway,
Look.
Like- Considering I have the ring, maybe I should just go first. Considering if I fail, I'll just
Yeah.
be able to swim.
Yeah,
That's probably a good shout, actually.
Yeah, that's probably the most
Yeah.
quickly smart we've been all day.
Yeah.
We've
You
been
know
Which
what?
is kind of
synced up.
sad when you think about it.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so yeah, Grim, you make it around the corner with little issue and aid in securing
Nice.
the rope.
Oh.
Everybody else make me because Yara and Grim are gonna have to move up. Everyone else make me a athletics check with advantage,
Okay.
except for Lyra, who
Including
is
me.
levitating.
Yeah. Okay. Athletics with advantage. To be fair, I don't even necessarily want to get the whole way around. I just want to get to a point where I can see enough landmass to teleport onto it. That's all I want.
60.
Oh wait, that's acrobatics. Just kidding.
It's still a +11.
It's still the same dice roll, so
Oh,
Oh, thank God, I actually did okay.
okay. So eventually, the squad makes it around after a
The
few
logistics
moments.
of having a
What?
giant direwolf
Uh,
are all fun and
oh.
games until this shit
Oh.
happens.
The hawk is spotted.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Enemy spotted.
move Kaziara, move everyone else.
Yep.
Just trying to get everyone positioned in a way that they're not like standing on the edge.
Lyra right now. Cliff stuck.
Help!
Please.
Help!
I beg you.
Um,
Although technically, because I feel like this might be important. Concentrating.
Oh yeah, you are technically concentrating. So, yeah, like, as you get positioned, Grim, you and Kaziara at the same time notice, like there is a subtle splash as a Sahagin pulls itself up out of the water onto the rock in front of you, and it pulls a like a. I guess the best way to describe it is what looks like essentially like a large stone warhammer from its back, readies itself, and I guess it would not call out because, as you can barely tell from the dim light from your sword illuminating it, its eyes are dark and clouded, suggesting it is yet another thrall.
Oh.
mind it's not.
And
Sahagin.
as you do, as this happens, like it pulls up, it pauses, draws the hammer, and you notice as two more. Actually, I guess you can probably only see one of these. But we'll find out in a minute. More Sahagin like emerge from the water. As well as a series of jet black fins.
Uh-oh.
Sure.
And that's where we'll take a break.
Oh.
Good.